Obsession is out and it has sparked a very interesting online discussion. Jump into the plot real quick. Obsession is a movie where Bear, the main character, has a huge crush on his childhood friend and co-worker. But when he wishes for her to love him, in true monkey's paw fashion, all hell breaks loose. What's been super interesting about this movie has been people's reactions, because it's almost like they're watching two completely different films. Whereas most people are walking out of this movie horrified, shocked by the thought that even the nicest person, the nicest guy you know, is going to be comfortable with taking away your autonomy and be happy with a puppet version of his dream girl as long as he has her. Others are more unsure about what the movie was trying to depict. Two of the central arguments emerging from the movie are, one, whether Nikki, the girl character, liked Bear at all, liked him back romantically enough to be in this relationship. And the second point, which stems from the first, is who is the victim and who is the villain of this story, if either characters can actually be seen as the villain. So let's break this down. I think it's important to look at Nikki's state of mind towards the beginning of the movie. At the beginning, she calls Bear to tell him that she's put in her 2 weeks notice at work. She's quitting her job because she feels trapped and she wants to focus on her writing. When he refers to her book as a romance, she corrects him and calls it a love story, but it refuses to elaborate further. Nikki is at a point where she's setting herself free. She doesn't seem to be looking for love in her own life. She's not even looking to spend time with her close friends. And she literally says she wants to go home and sleep. A little heartbreaking detail here is that she loses her crystal necklace, which could have been seen to be protecting her till now, which prompts Bear to go to the Wiccan store to try to buy her a gift. But in the movie, we hear from Ian and Sarah that Nikki saw Bear as a little brother and a friend only. So this beginning scene is where Bear could have confessed his feelings and taken the risk that poses of rejection towards Nikki. But instead of doing this, he literally chooses to go over her autonomous mind and wish that she has feelings for him and loves him.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
Really confusing to me why so many people who watch this film are so focused on the complicity of the female character. They are going over the scenes, trying to see where it seems as if she has feelings for Bear. The movie's director revealed he shot two versions of the film, one in which she did have feelings for him and one in which she didn't, intending to confuse the audience about her intentions. The cast and crew revealed that Nikki might have given Bear a chance if he had confessed his feelings right in the beginning, because we see her character literally ask him if he has feelings for her when he says he has a gift for her. Classic move to draw boundaries or suss out whether someone is still someone you can see in the safe little brother capacity and as a friend, or if they have long-term intentions towards you. So my question is, would it even have mattered if Nikki had feelings for Bear? Dissecting and looking at the state of this woman's mind when she is literally losing autonomy of her own self while being in the company of someone who she doesn't know how far she can trust. She has memories with this person. She sees them as safe. When you are friends with someone, you are open to having feelings that might develop. But obviously that is not going to exist if your trust is being violated. So what she knows and what she doesn't know, and whether she trusts him or she doesn't trust him, she is not the character who's seeing the entire picture. Those of us who are seeing this movie as a horror movie instead of a romantic movie can see it as a dark story of obsession, where this man literally doesn't care if he is replacing his friend with a Stepford wife kind of, or robot girlfriend kind of automaton, as long as he gets what he wants. And we see this side of him play out not just in conjunction to Nikki, but throughout the movie. For example, when his cat, Sandy, dies, and a reminder that a cat is related to the feline side, which is seen as feminine, he never once takes responsibility for leaving out the pills which led to the cat's death. He just uses the cat's death as an excuse for his grief and to move forward with what he wants. The second interesting point is his name, Bear. Bear, which seems to be a play on that whole, was it a survey question or something where they asked women, would you rather be alone on an island with a man or with a bear? And the women overwhelmingly said that they'd feel safer with a bear, which really sums up the entire struggle from Nikki's point of view. Is this man safe? Is he a friend? Or is this gray zone and moral ambiguity, or him not falling immediately into the category of the type of men she would avoid? So she sees him as a friend and as the bear, the safer alternative. Is that his true identity, or is he someone who is manipulating her and choosing to override and imprison her? On top of that, his character seems to have a paranoid need to root out whatever is left of her. He really wants to know whether she has feelings for him. He torments himself with how much of her actions are because of the spell. In a scene where they're together intimately, we see the contrast between her heartbroken expression and her voice. She even tries to throw him off, but then they resume, again showing how eerie his lack of empathy towards the real Nikki is. When Bear calls the wish helpline and they ask him if he wants to cancel his wish, he says no, claiming he only wants to alter it. He doesn't have any regrets about getting her against her will. And when the man on the helpline puts him through to the real Nikki, who is just screaming in despair on the phone, he quickly disconnects. Both the character and a lot of the people who have seen the movie seem to be looking at the hysteria and emotional instability as a normal part of having an unstable girlfriend. But this is literally the lashing out of a trapped woman. And also her struggle to reconcile herself with the reality she's living, which is wonderfully illustrated in the scene at Ian's party where she is reading out an excerpt from incestuous Hansel and Gretel story, where Gretel believes their love is as rare as a wish made on a willow tree. This is haunting and again shows her trying to process being in a romantic relationship with someone who she saw as a brother. He is completely aware that she is not herself, lowering his voice to ask her if she, Nikki, is happy, and leaving obsessed Nikki crying and sobbing and screaming that she can be Nikki. Bear is fully aware that Nikki is not herself and seems unmoved by her pleas when the real Nikki awakens at night, lucid, and begs him to kill her. He becomes offended and asks if being with him is truly that bad. She says she has never been with him and he just leaves. So whereas a lot of people who are seeing the film are taking it as confirmation that women are crazy, or that having a girlfriend is some sort of signing yourself up for some unstable, hysterical whirlwind experience, the real message of the film is the terrifying realization that even the nicest guy could just want a shell version of you, of the person they're obsessed with. This reminds me of this quote by the philosopher Nietzsche, which says that ultimately it is the desire, not the desired, that we love. And we see this in this movie because he literally is ready to cheat on her the moment he gets the chance. So in this movie, we're really looking at a disturbed man who thinks he has the right to possess against other people's will what he thinks he is owed, and a girl who morphs into the feminine monstrous rage, which has popped up throughout history and in various films like The Exorcist, to show the terrifying turn towards monstrous which a woman can take when she is being repressed or forced. It would have been good if the character of Bear had like a resolution, like in the scene from Inception where Leonardo DiCaprio's character realizes that this limited version of his wife, in this case who he has created from his memories, cannot replace the true complex person that she was. Does it matter if Nikki liked Bear? Was he a misunderstood character? Do you feel bad for Bear and think he deserved better? Is the audience looking too much into the victim's behavior, almost as if they're trying to justify the action taken by this character? Let me know in the comments below.